Hey guys, I had a few minutes to talk to you, so I'm going to just take a moment to basically describe the separate self a little bit more in more detail, because this separate self seems to be, in this exploration that we do together, like one of the main obstacles or one of the main problems of these dialogues. Like everybody's coming in to these discussions wanting to get rid of their separate self, in a sense. But it's not something you can really do because you didn't create it in the first place. It's just simply something that happens, and we can watch it dismantle. And it's dismantling all the time on a regular basis once you start this path. And basically, it's these images we have of ourselves and this extreme amount of effort that we put into attempting to maintain these images. We've learned as children that in order to be alive, in order to survive, that we must behave a certain way, otherwise we won't get love, we won't get acceptance, we won't get safety, we won't get approval. So we go out into our worlds and into our lives attempting to uphold this manufactured sense of what you believe Kate is, or what you believe Kelly is, or who you believe John is, or who you believe that you are. And so Kate has all these learned behaviors that she's acquired in order to survive. She's learned that if she's a kind person, most people won't see her as a threat, and she'll have the acceptance and approval of other humans, and therefore she'll feel like she belongs, and so that will make her more safe. Just an example. Many different games that this image plays out in the world in order to uphold its illusion, its illusory dream. And it becomes a very difficult thing to maintain. In general, even if you're not into non-duality and into the subject, in general, it's very difficult to maintain because the truth continually starts to fracture and break that fragile, illusory self up, And what starts to emerge when you allow this dismantling to happen, or not even allow it, because you can't allow it because it's happening anyway, but some of us can be a little bit more conscious of how that's happening in our lives. But what's so fascinating is this emergence of like this really authentic, I hate that word because it's totally overused, this real radical wild sense of who you are starts to emerge, like this unfiltered, untamed aspect of your being begins to emerge, like all those parts of you that you're hiding away, locking them up in a little safe, making sure nobody gets near the real you, because that you is not the you that's going to survive, right? That's not the you that's acceptable in society. That's not the you that's going to that's learned to get its needs met. It's kind of like a hidden you that only you keep to yourself. And so that actually starts to emerge. And there's so much joy in that, because that's why so many people are unhappy, like on the human level. It's because they're not allowed to be themselves. They don't let them be themselves. They calculate these learned behaviors and patterns within their functioning, and they operate all of their relationships based on them. And then it becomes like so tiring and exhausting just simply to get through a day. And so when that starts to dissolve in this aspect of your being, of who you really are, not even like as oneness or as no thing, but like who you really are as that unique aspect of being, when that starts to emerge unapologetically and forcefully in an unfiltered manner, it's astounding in a sense, because it really develops this physical sense of comfort and freedom all of a sudden, like when the body's not holding itself back in this contracted state, because these images are that contraction. Okay, that's what's causing that suffering, is upholding this image of who you think you are for yourself and for the world. When that stops, and when those games stop getting played out and functioning, then something really fragile and really loving can emerge, like just something so ordinary and yet so extraordinary at the same time. And it's you, like the you that you know yourself to be, like without the little without all that self-doubt and without all that fear of how others are going to see you, without all that terror that you're not going to survive and that you'll perish if you just do what you want or be who you want to be. And these are simple things. I mean, sometimes it can just be like knowing what your body wants to do from on a moment to moment basis and actually admitting that to yourself. We're so disconnected often from the bodies that we don't often even know if we're truly hungry, if we're truly thirsty, if we're really sleepy, what we need. And we learn to abandon ourselves in a way and just kind of play out these fake, painful realities for ourselves. And so when you come into contact with a situation where that illusory sense of you is threatened, and you start to feel that insecurity and that fear and that realization that, oh my God, I can't actually uphold this image. It's not going to work. This person totally sees through me. Like, they've seen me. Like, see that as a blessing. Like, see that as a good thing. See that as the first step in finally breaking free of all that bullshit of having to be a certain way. And what's going on out here? You guys see the moon? Can you see it? Where is it? I can see it. So what else? Okay, I'm gonna leave it at that because I gotta run. But great to say hi and just be you. Be you. Let that come. It's like at this level of what we discuss here, like it'll come like a tsunami. Like, it's not gonna be possible to uphold these images anymore. And like, what are you protecting anyway? What do you need those for? Just see what happens when you drop that sense of who you think you are. Just try. Try and see if maybe there's something more real there that can emerge, more free, more happy. When you finally let and allow the body to start moving towards the things that it wants, like just radical transformations can happen on the physical level. And maybe that's not a good thing to mention, because that's not really what these talks are about in a sense, but also they are, because like part of this message is freedom, the freedom to like get out of the stuckness and these confines of these old, outdated, painful illusions or dreams that we've created in order to get by. Anyway, I'm gonna run. Great to see everybody. Have a great rest of your weekend.